Hey everybody, this is me, Fall Knight 3862. Before I begin with any of this video, I just want to ask, how's your spring break been so far? If you have it, it's been pretty hectic for me so far, but it's still been fun. So, anyone want to share their experience about spring break? Let me know in the comments. I mean, don't if you don't want to. It's up to you. But anyways, this main point about this video is politics, which is something I've purposefully been avoiding on this channel for a long time. And to be honest, this is probably going to be the first and last video I ever talk about politics. Because I don't want to get into this, on a large scale. I don't want to be like these other YouTubers who profit off of politics on how, it's been going down in America and anywhere else. I don't want to be those people. I don't want to profit off this stuff. I just believe in sharing a message that's important. And that, hopefully, if you lean with one way or the other, you'll be able to at least learn to listen to both sides and then formulate your own opinions and at least try to agree to disagree. So without further ado, if you'll allow me to speak with my inexperience in dealing with major political issues, to just try to listen. It's kind of a dicey situation in politics right now in America, in my country, in the United States. It's a very, toxic environment to talk about politics. This country has more hate than it has in a very, very long time. And that's a bad thing. I think we can both agree that hate within a nation in itself is not a great thing to have. Especially since, we're a big country. We make a lot of big decisions that do affect some other countries in the world. But at the same time, I feel like this two-party system has sort of led us to a sort of team mentality where, if you don't agree with my side, you're completely wrong. You're wrong, and I will shut you up as best I can because I'm right and I'm doing this for you. Pushing your own team's agenda. It's what it's become. Politics is basically sports now. We all have our different teams, Republicans and Democrats. They're just like sports teams at this point. They just want attention. That's all they've ever wanted. I mean, and in some senses, it's kind of bullshit. When you get along, I don't know how to say a lot of this stuff. I'm gonna admit right now, I'm not deeply ingrained in politics, but I feel like this message is important in a way. Okay? Agree with me or don't. I just want to say this. So, we're developing this team mentality and we're focusing on the things that are tearing us apart when we should be focusing on the things that we should be focusing on compromise, on what we can somewhat agree on, and what we can agree to disagree on. You can agree to disagree and not be a bad person. You can do that. In between disagreement and violence, there's conversation. And I feel like I've heard this on from my grandma talking about this, that we've completely lost this. We've lost the conversation side, and we've just shifted to disagreement and violence, which is, it's not how it should work. What we need to be able to do is talk with people. Get information on both sides and formulate your own opinions. You need to be able to listen to people so you can understand the big picture. The big picture. Not absorbing the minor truths, but the whole truths at the same time. So, and that being said, I feel like that we've lost three important things throughout this entire thing that I've been repeating. Because it's important. I'm not repeating this just to annoy people. I'm repeating this to let you know that we're losing this as a country. We're losing the ability to understand. We're losing the ability to listen, and we're losing the ability to converse. actually talk. When someone brings up an opinion that someone disagrees with, they're immediately shut down. Like, they get yelled at, they get, like, false accusations, they get slander. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. And the worst thing about it is the people who are arguing for free speech and who are advocating for free speech and doing all this good stuff for it, as soon as somebody like brings up a different opinion than the agenda of their team, they immediately shut them down. Like, they're completely wrong. And that in itself isn't free speech. That's fascism. That's what that is. That's complete fascism. Like, shutting down the ability to speak freely is fascism. That's like what that is. And of course, there are other things that bring about the fascism, but I'm not going to get into that because that's not the point of this. The point of this is what I've been repeating. We need to be able to listen, converse, understand, and agree to disagree. And I feel like we're losing that as a nation. And that needs to stop. The first steps that I feel like anyone could take is if you know people who are one way or the other, you should try and talk with them as much as you can, because in the end, they're still your friends. You need to be able to understand that they're still your friends in some way. You just need to try to get through to them and have them realize that it's not one way or the other. It's not your way or the highway. It's not any of that. It's that you need to teach them to be able to understand and listen to both sides of the argument. Like, what's going on both ends. This is really just, because that's really what it is. You need to be able to formulate your own opinions on an issue. That's why a lot of people, like people in the US, aren't leaning towards Democrat and Republican anymore. Mostly going independent. And they hate that because you know why? They hate that because they don't know what you're going to vote for. When it comes time for election, they don't know what you're going to go for. Are you going to support them or are you not? They have no way of finding out, really. Well, unless you register as independent. That's how they find out. But that annoys the shit out of them. And that's a good thing. Because the fact that we're bringing about independent as a party, is showing that we don't lean one way or the other. Showing that most people would rather have a middle ground than a far right or a far left. Like, that's mainly what it comes down to. Like, it's... Sorry. I just get really passionate about this topic. Anyways, that's what they really hate. They hate that. They want you to go with their team. Because you go for a team. You go for a team. And if you don't, you're wrong. You're just straight up wrong. There is no middle ground. You have to go with us. Us, not them. Or not the middle ground. Because there's no middle ground. It's black and white. No. It's not how it is. And a lot of people who are registering independent understand that. And at the topic of world leaders, I'm not going to name specifics because I do not want that kind of argument on this channel. I'm not naming specifics. I'm just saying we need to be able to look at certain people, certain world leaders, just people in general, actually. We need to look at certain people and look at the good they have done and the bad they have done and formulate our own opinions about what they are, about how we feel about them. We're in an era of fucking name calling. Excuse me. Very unprofessional in a video like this. But we're in an era of name calling where you just find like a word to call somebody. It doesn't matter if you know what that word means or not. Just go ahead and call them a racist, a fascist, a Nazi, or whatever. Whatever. Go ahead and call them that. If it furthers your argument, it's good. That's the best thing you can say. And that's where we kind of live in now. That's how we do. And that's not a good thing. So the main reason I made this is because if more people talk out about this, and more people understand how bullshit this is, we'll probably be able to find some solution to this. We'll get more people listening and conversing rather than just going up to just straight up disagreement and violence. Like, hopefully we become an era that realizes the problem with a two-party system. And yes, there is some good in a two-party system, but I feel like nowadays a lot of the problems outweigh the good in a two-party system. I feel like we need either more parties in the system or none at all. I feel like George Washington was completely right in saying that we should not gravitate towards a two-party system, and because it'll spell disaster. And while he was a bit late in predicting how soon that disaster would come, I feel like it's come now. That's how I feel. But as I say this, I want you to look at this video. If you watch this at all, I want you to formulate your own opinions about what I'm saying. I want you to either agree with me or disagree with me. Don't say I'm right or wrong. Either agree with me, disagree with me, or just try to find some other way to make sense of what I'm saying. And I have no doubt in my mind, I have no doubt at all, that a lot of you smart people, like some people who are into this, you smart people who are looking at this stuff, will be able to phrase sort of what I'm saying in a way better way than I am right now. Because I am fumbling, rumbling, and just tripping over every word I say sometimes. But, like, just my performance as it is, I just wanted to get this out. Okay? So, main message of that whole thing, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'll keep saying it, is to agree to disagree, is the main point of that. Anyways, see you guys later.